kaiju, turtles, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Story Reviews. Hey there, collectors, it is Steven here, and I'm actually back with another King of the Monsters review. Isn't it funny how we're, now 2 years out, and I'm still cranking these videos out? Yeah, it's pretty fun. Anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at the Raymond toys, guest distributed and or made by MSF. I'm not quite sure of the whole collaboration and or connection here, but they both took part in the making of our first 6-inch Behemoth figure from Godzilla, King of the Monsters. That's right, Bandai hasn't touched it, not a part of the movie Monster Series lineup. Playmates, nope. Do we have it in the SH Monster Arts lineup? Nah. Jax, nope. NECA, nope. So here we go. YMSF, Raymond, or sometimes referred to as Raymundo. Did you get the job done? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not this massive titan is worth adding into your collection. I remember back at G-Fest 2019, there was someone who was standing over by the YMSF booth and he said, "Hey you, come on over here, you're gonna like this." And I've been thinking about that since. I mean, it's Behemoth, and that was a pretty interesting encounter. Why? Because you don't often get to see prototypes in person. Now, to my understanding, that prototype has since been long gone, and we got a new one. And here we are. Now, generally speaking, I do think that this Behemoth looks very good. That's kind of the reason why you're going to be getting this, right? When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, though, when we're looking at some of the more specific paint applications, I do think that is where this Behemoth does tend to fall a little bit short. When we take a look at the tusks up close and personal and the nails around his little feetsies, we can see a little bit of overspray, which that's not going to be a big deal for some, but it is in fact there. And then there's an issue with his tusks, which I'm going to talk about the tusks just kind of as a whole right now, and we'll touch a little bit more in the articulation section. So for the tusks, they do come detached. They are not glued when you get it. So when you get this, you are going to have to get super glue. It would be advised. I'm going to go with Gorilla Glue, because monkey, and you're going to have to glue them in place. I'll show you why you're going to want to do that in the articulation section. Now, with that being said, they're separate pieces. It sort of feels like they're made of a different vinyl material. They may not necessarily be, but I can definitely see that there are some molding imperfections on the tusks. Thankfully, those can be disguised as, hey, ivory and all that fun stuff. But when you look at it real up close and personal, you can see a couple little paint drips, which at first I didn't know too much about it, except for I thought that was damage. And then I was able to see some of those imperfections. There was someone in my Discord, yes, I actually do have a Discord, who actually had one of his chipped. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Just quality control stuff. Anyway, otherwise for Behemoth, the shading that is found on the figure is actually very nice. It's actually going to be something that's not necessarily on par with other vinyl figures. It's going to be something that you're going to be seeing on some more high-end figures, like in the SH Monster Arts lineup or the SH Figure Arts lineup, even in some of the NECA figures that we see. Admittedly, NECA are a bit more affordable and not, we'll talk about the price at the end, but still, the shading on this figure is very good. So generally speaking, the only big issue is going to have to be with the tusks in regards to quality control, and it does seem like there were some air bubbles or what so forth that maybe should have been nipped in the bud, but still at the end of the day, aside from that, this figure does look very good with only minor errors. Time to talk about articulation, and first, let's go ahead and talk about those tusks. So they are actually going to have shaped inserts, so you shouldn't confuse left and right. So they go in a specific way and you're good to go. Now you may think that if you could just put them in and you twist them a little bit, friction will hold them in. Not necessarily. And believe me, I'm only showing you this because I thought the same. If you want these to stay in, you're going to have to glue them. And please make sure you're doing it correctly, so this way, if you are a reasonable member of the community who is not looking to take advantage of people who don't know, you buy this directly from the guy who runs the YMSF social media. Like, that's how you get these. Don't glue them in backwards when you buy 5 of them and then sell them for 150% markup. Please don't do that. Anyway, so yes, the tusks, they will fall out. That is almost a guarantee here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tusks to show you the articulation, which is going to be basic swivels. We do have swivels at the shoulders and then one at the waist. So this is a vinyl figure. It's not an action figure, so wouldn't necessarily expect this to be moving like the SH Monster Arts birth version. but you can get some fun poses. Cool. We'll go ahead and round out the video with a size comparison here where you can see Behemoth in the canon is actually just a little bit smaller than Godzilla. For whatever reason, I always thought he was a very, very small kaiju, or Titan, go ahead, whatever. I thought he was about half the height of Godzilla. Turns out that's not the case. So this is very appropriately sized, pretty much regardless of what lineup you collect, aside from maybe some Gashapon figures. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Overall, Behemoth is sculpted very well with very few errors in the actual sculpting quality, and the paint application is fantastic, except for a couple of minor spray errors here or there. In regards to the tusk, it does seem like the tusks are the main contender for quality control, with a couple of bubbles found on mine and imperfections with at least one report that I was able to see where it doesn't look like it was molded correctly. But even still, that's one. Yours may vary. I'm just letting you know that that could be a possibility. Now for the price, what are we looking at? Again, you are going to have to message the person who runs YMSF's Instagram and or Twitter directly in order to get one of these, and it's going to be 10,000 yen plus whatever it is shipping to your country. Mine was about 1,000. So 110 bucks. Is it worth it? Designer vinyl, limited run. It's probably going to be sold out by the time that you're watching this video. So I'm going to leave that choice back up to you. Me personally, I'm very happy to have it. The imperfections that it has on mine, they're minor. I'm just telling you what you may not find right with it. And yeah, I'm pleased with my purchase. Now, I'm probably going to get kicked out of the YMSF group again. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.